Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for attending this Jungle Bells in a digital session, I'm afraid. I am Gilles, co-founder and chief business developer for Spreds. I am not here to amplify nor minimize this corona crisis. It's an important crisis though, but don't be afraid. It will for sure shake some values, but it might be source of many opportunities as well. As we will go back to the essentials, I do believe. Let's remain positive. We're here to speak about entrepreneurship. Geert Noels, a well-respected Belgian economist and chief executive officer at Econopolis, recently stated about this COVID-19 crisis that only the people living for their company will make it through this crisis. Those living out of their companies will fail. Before one might argue, let me outline what Geert forgot to mention, and that we do consider of the utmost importance at Spreds. One is passion, people engagement. More than ever, people are getting really much aware that solidarity can make the difference. Solidarity is one of the pillars of the values that you find in our name, by the way, Spreds. Passionate people are source of positive energy. You will sense it in the pitches. That energy that brings them a step further. More than ever, 2020 will be the year of the team. This is in line with the social tool protection. The other element that Geert also failed to put in evidence is innovation. On a crisis, only the models capable of reinventing their value proposition and shifting it to meet market needs will succeed. Innovation on that aspect is key to protect the work tool. More than ever, we, that is you and me, need to provide our support to early stage companies. Let me explain you why. Small companies of less than 10 people do represent about 63% of the employment rate in Belgium. This ratio is very similar in France. And by the way, thanks to a cousin watching us. If these small structures die, we die as well, since we won't be able to guarantee the jobs of our children. If those guys don't make it through this crisis, I can already tell you that the next wave to hit us will be big, very big. Supporting this early stage investment is therefore key. It's critical. This is why we Spreds wanted to hold this event more than ever. Providing young entrepreneurs with resources is important, not only with financial resources, but also with knowledge and network. We've created therefore Jungle Bells to promote their model a step further, to support early stage structures in order to allow them to accelerate and bring them to the IPO stage. To make it possible, we have the privilege of being sponsored by ONEtoONE Corporate Finance, which is an international M&A boutique, ABN AMRO, a well-known international bank. We've got CoStation on board, a true recognized national incubator, PWC Legal, one of the big four, SFPI, public partner, L'Echo de la Bourse, the media group, and Euronext, the principal European stock exchange marketplace. The purpose is to give you, with these players, the opportunity to invest in innovative structures that are ready to increase their capital together with co-investor and institutionals at the very same conditions. 4 companies will now present their respective models. Quite a challenge in this environment, for which they deserve a warm applause. During the pitches, you will be able to ask your questions in the comments sections, or simply by sending us a mail at, are you ready? info@spreds.com. I repeat, info@spreds.com. We will take the time to answer each and every question, or better, call you if you leave us your details. Thank you for supporting these entrepreneurs. I mean it. Thank you. I wish you a great session, and don't forget, stay home, be brave, be safe, and invest with it.
Hey there, my name is Pierre. I'm the founder and CEO of Billy Bike. We are a Brussels-based company that offers shared electric bicycles available through a mobile app. My co-founders and I started the company in 2017, and we have been live to the general public for 1 year now with 600 bicycles covering about 1/3 of the Brussels region. So how does it work exactly, this service? The user starts by installing our app on their mobile phone. They sign up, which takes about 1 minute, and then they can immediately start using one of our 600 bicycles. They go on the map, they look at the nearest bike, they reserve it, they walk up to the bike, and then they can unlock the bike with the phone. They can drive anywhere they want. They just have to bring back the bike in the area that we cover as indicated on the map of the mobile app. So the user pays 18 cents per minute. We don't ask for the €1 unlock fee that many of our competitors ask, which is making us actually the most affordable free float mobility solution in Brussels today. So this shared mobility market is a very exciting and fast growing market. All across the world, cities are starting to transform because citizens are increasingly tired of the traffic jams, of the air pollution, and they actually actively go looking for alternatives that will allow them to move around their city in a much more faster, in a much more flexible, and in a much more sustainable way. According to a study that is a few months old by McKinsey, by 2030, this micromobility market will be worth anywhere between 100 and 150 billion euros. And I'm talking just about the European market. It's also a market that has many exit opportunities, as the traditional mobility and automotive players are buying up many startups in this market to secure their position in this fast-changing environment. And of course, we are in close contact with several of these players, and in the next few months, we will continue improving our contacts and making new contacts to secure a potential exit in the future. So how do we position ourselves in this huge market as a relatively small Belgian player? So we are facing companies like Uber with their service Jump. We are facing companies like Lime that are backed by Google. But all these companies mostly focus on the mega cities, anywhere above 1 million inhabitants. All the cities between 250,000 and 1 million inhabitants are left out. And there are hundreds of these medium-sized cities in Europe alone. We are convinced that we can make our model work in those medium-sized cities because they share many aspects with Brussels, which is actually one of the, let's say, largest medium-sized cities in Europe. So that's why after our operations here, we want to replicate our model in Antwerp next year and then go to Lille and Cologne in the next 24 months. So what if we still have to compete with one of those big international players in one of the cities where we go? This is exactly what happened in Brussels. So a few months after we launched our service, Jump, so backed by Uber, arrived here, and they launched their service that does exactly the same as we do. We were afraid at first, but we saw very quickly a big boom in usage. And why? Because these big players, they help to create awareness around this market and to get people biking. And most people actually combine the different services available on the market. But in a very natural way, we also defined a differentiation with them. When you look at companies like Uber and like Lime, they mostly focus on occasional users and on tourists. They have much larger fleets. They cover often bigger areas, so they are much more visible. But in order to have this high fleets, they have to have higher pricings, and they also have lower reliability. On the other side, there are also the traditional players like JCDecaux and their bike sharing system that they call Velo here in Brussels. They allow for very cheap riding because they are 100% subsidized by the region here in Brussels, but they offer very little flexibility, and therefore they attract mostly daily routine usage. Actually, they have electrified their system now, and you need to carry around a battery that is about this size and charge it yourself in order to electrify the bicycles. Our sweet spot is right in the middle between these two models. We go for frequent users. These users, they keep coming back to Billy because we offer first a lower price, and that's probably the most important reason, but also because our bikes are more comfortable, much more reliable, and we offer a way better customer service through our 24-hour chat and phone customer service. So how are we able to offer such a low pricing and such a high reliability? Is because we are a data-driven organization. We track every single aspect of our activity, and that starts with number one, user behavior, which also allows us to do predictive numbers on seasonality, for instance, which is crucial for our operations. Second part about the bike is that we know exactly which parts break, how often, how many rides they do before they break. So this allows us to constantly improve these parts and improve the reliability of the bicycle. And third, we know every minute of our mechanics and our street team, how to invest it in the maintenance of the bikes, which allows us to constantly optimize the efficiency of this operational team, lower the costs of maintenance and of charging. So after these 3 years of operational experience, we have reached a point where we have all the tools in our hands to grow our business to the next level, to break even our model and to start replicating this profitable model in other cities. So we have, first of all, something that not many companies have, which is a shared electric bike and the onboard technology that goes with it that we developed from scratch. And this is actually already the second generation of this bike. To go with that, we have, as I said, 3 years of operational experience, and we have a team that is trained to maintain the bikes, for the marketing. We know how to bring it to the people. And this allowed us to get to the third point, which is that we already have a user base of 10,000 users here in Brussels. And in order to reach break even, we just need 14,000 users more. So to reach a total of 24,000 users, which we hope to reach, or which we plan to reach by the end of the summer of 2020, so this year. So we have been able to do all of this thanks to the support, financial support of several Belgian angel investors and family offices that have invested a total of 2 million euros in our project. 250,000 euros of that amount came from our very first equity crowdfunding campaign around 2018, which was an incredible experience for us as a business, of course, for the financial aspect, but also as a marketing tool, because this meant that we had more than 100 Brusselaars that joined this adventure, that joined this project in a much more engaged way, giving feedback on every aspect and being our best ambassadors. We now want to surf on this new wave that has been launched by Newbie and Cowboy that each did big crowdfunding campaigns in December in order to launch our second crowdfunding campaign, doubling the initial amount, going for 500,000 euros this time. So another change that we have put is that we want to take investments starting at 50 euros. This will allow many more Brusselaars to get engaged in the story, and as I said before, use this as a competitive advantage, or as yet another competitive advantage to fend off the big international players. So besides these smaller amounts, we also want to have smart money. We want to have more angels. We want to have investment funds to participate in this fundraising, and that's why I'm here talking to you today, confined in my apartment. So these new funds will be used to fuel our growth in the next few months, to perfect our operational model and prepare our launch in our second city, which will be Antwerp. So I hope you are all as excited as we are about this opportunity, about this market. And even though with this, let's say, tricky situation of the coronavirus, we would just want to share also a message of how can I say, we want to reinforce the fact that this service continues to be really relevant even this time of lockdown, as we haven't really seen any significant loss of revenue compared to the previous months. And we even believe that after this, just like after the attacks a few years ago, the Brussels citizens will want to stay away from public transport, and so biking will get another boost again, as it has in the last few years. So do reach out, let's discuss and see how we can transform urban mobility together. Thank you. My name was Pierre. Talk to you soon.